So this is the solution to problem number 7 from the review work. And it's a multiple choice graphing problem, so that means that if we can identify a few points that need to be plotted from the function, then we probably can tell the difference between which of these pictures the right answer should be. So let's we can see here that the conditions on this piecewise defined function are based on whether x is less than 0, equal to 0, or greater than 0. And so let's plot one point of each type. If we were to plot f of -2, say, we can first, remember we first take this value of x, -2, and we ask ourselves which of these criteria is true when x is -2. And the answer is the first one. The first one says x is less than 0, and that is true if x is -2. So that means that we want to use the first piece to figure out the value of f of -2. So we plug -2 in for x into this formula. So we have to pay attention to our negative signs, but it'll be -2. So we use the formula minus x, where x equals -2. So that's equal to +2, and so therefore the point -2, 2, the x-coordinate is the input, the y-coordinate is the output. So the point -2, 2 is on the graph. And so if we look at our choices, this graph looks like it has the point -2, 2. It's a little hard for me to draw with the stylus here, but somewhere in there. So -2, 2 is on that graph. It doesn't really look like it's on any other one, so that actually might be enough to determine that the answer is A. But if it weren't, let's just plot a couple of other ones to see. If I actually ask what f of 0 is, again, I read this by looking over here on the right side and ask myself which of these three things is true when x is 0, and the one that's true is this one, 0 is equal to 0. And so when x is 0, I want to use the formula -1. So there's nothing to do with the x, you just get the answer -1, so that seems a little weird. But that means that the point 0, -1 is on the graph. And so we can see that this picture, 0, -1, is on there. Here it's not, so that's definitely not right. That's definitely not right. And this one, 0, -1, is on there, so this graph also would be a possibility from this second point. But so far, the only one that meets both criteria, the first criteria and the second criteria, is this first one. So I'm pretty sure that's it, but let's check one more. F of 2, again, I'm putting in numbers that meet different ones of these criteria. If x is 2, then this condition, x greater than 0, is true. 2 is greater than 0 is a true statement, so I would use this formula when x is 2. So if I use this formula when x is 2, it'll be 2 plus 1 equals 3. And so therefore, the point 2, 3 is on the graph. So this is getting at this fundamental thing I was talking about in class, that putting the number in and seeing the number that comes out of a function is related to the x and y coordinates of the point on the graph. And if we check again, this 2, 3 is about there. Again, it's hard to draw, but it's in that general vicinity. So so now I'm very sure that answer number A, letter A, is the one that I want. But I could easily investigate multiple choice type problems by just selecting a few different values of x, plugging them in, thinking about the coordinates of those points, and that'll narrow down my options.